We are all doomed. Galactic Supreme Court. Ongoing trial. Magister Trixon, you are accused of treason of the highest order. How do you plead? The first judge declared. Not guilty. In order to prevent our complete and utter destruction, I did what had to be done, Trixon stated. At the time, we had no other options. The hordes of the invading coalition were unstoppable. You all know that. If I hadn't done what I had done, none of us would be here right now. No magic or technology or ancient device could have saved us. Murmurs were heard throughout the great hall as the thousands of members in the jury either quietly conversed with their neighbors about their agreement or disagreements to Trixon's statement. While it is undisputed that we could not have won the war without the humans, giving them the X drive was, the second judge began, absolutely necessary. Trixon interrupted him. For the sake of all individualistic sentient life in the galaxy, it was absolutely necessary. X drive. It was probably the most important invention for the galaxy, comparable importance to the invention of the wheel, the printing press, or beer for humanity, depending on whom you ask. A device that combined both magical ether reactors, technical aspects beyond what anyone can comprehend, and a mind-probing device. It allows the user to physically create any object of any size, as long as they understand every single aspect of the object, from the physical appearance to the programming and other technical aspects. Using a human example, if one has a clear picture of an object, say a mobile phone, you can create the phone. However, it will not have any functionality. It will just be the phone. If, however, you knew how it operated, what components there were, etc., then you could theoretically create a working mobile phone. Thus, theoretically, it would be possible to create literally anything, as long as the knowledge of every single functionality of the object is known. In the thousands of years since its inception, the X drive has undergone sporadic improvements, primarily to its adaptability for use by different species. Trixon allowed himself a small smile as he heard the muttered discussions whispering through the hall. Then, Magister, kindly explain what in the name of all that is holy is going on right outside of our viewport, the first judge roared in undiluted fury, indicating the massive space battle going on right outside their space station. And the humans, the first thing they did with the X drive they were given was for some lazy scholar in the field of biotechnology and cybernetics to create a device that interfaces with the human brain and allows for the uploading and downloading of information directly into the human's memory, immediately after creating a device that automatically cooks him some drink known as coffee without having to ask for it. Next, the same individual somehow got his hands on the schematics of the X drive, mass-produced both them and his, as he called it, cyber interface for humanity. The results were equally amusing as they were worrying. You see, the current generation of humans harkened back to their ancient days, back when they could only dream of spaceflight, and took inspiration from the Sci-fi spacecraft they envisioned back then to combat the swarm that threatened the galaxy. And with the help of state-of-the-art AI, they managed to recreate each and every one of those spacefaring vessels. Within a year of receiving the X drive, humanity launched its first fleet to engage the invaders in active combat. The first fleet of many. The first to be officially labeled as a bullshit fleet. After all, who in their right mind would combine the Mark I Death Star from Star Wars with the mothership from Independence Day? supported by Imperial battleships from the Warhammer 40,000 plus universe, Daedalus class battlecruisers from Stargate, and Enterprise class ships from Star Trek, just to name a few. Not to mention the plethora of smaller ships that accompanied them, and all this just being the first fleet to be launched. Each subsequent fleet was more outlandish, with the only factions from Warhammer not being implemented being the Orcs, because not even the latest AI could make those rocks function, and the Tyranids, for obvious reasons, and the Dark Eldar, because they were apparently too twisted to work. Heck, there was even an entire fleet of stealth frigates, comprising of over 50 SSV Normandy Fremes and Tours. Anyway, it did not take long for the invading coalition to be thrown back and the majority of lost space to be retaken. And then the humans, as they say, did what they did best and turned their fleets into quantum VR-controlled entities and began fighting each other as though it was the latest edition of the battlefield, Space Edition genre. Trixon turned to look before giving an answer. That is just humans turning their fighting prowess inwards instead of targeting us. Would you rather they fight us instead? He asked, as they saw a Death Star obliterate another Death Star with its super laser, whilst an Independence Day mothership destroyed a squadron of battlecruisers that were trying to ram it. Let them have their fun. It's quite a spectacle, isn't it? Has the insanity of humanity gone and rotted your brains? The first judge asked. Better insane than stupid. I am more surprised that none of you see the value in having them as friends. I mean, they are willing to put up a show for you, and oh, come on, Black Team, don't lose to the Reds. Trixon suddenly shouted out as the flank of the one side began buckling. Can we concentrate on what is going on, please? The head judge shouted, striking his gavel. I'm concentrating. I just have higher priorities right now, Trixon said, lifting the stein to his lips, such as drinking this free beer and watching a casual game played by human teenagers. Author's name and the links to the original text in the description. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay with us.